What's going on, guys? Jasir over here. You already know how it is. So today I'm gonna be doing a virtual review of the 2020 Genesis G90, and it's gonna be a 5.0 liter engine. It's gonna be rear-wheel drive, and so I have a video right up here. I'm just gonna go ahead and watch it, and the guy in the video, he's just gonna perform. He's gonna like raise the RPM, and he's gonna try to let us hear the engine sound as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and listen to it and give my opinion by the end of the video. You guys already know the drill, okay? So in the meantime, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on because I will be releasing these bangers as much as possible throughout the day and throughout this entire week, and actually, matter of fact, throughout the entire month as much as possible. And you definitely do not want to miss them, especially if you're a car guy. Don't worry about it, y'all. I got something coming for it. I got something coming for y'all. So so, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright. Alright. Let me stop right there real quick and give you my opinion, give you my first impression of what I think from the inside. So, number one, the Genesis G90 is literally as big as the Mercedes S-Class. And in my opinion, I think they both compete against each other, which, what am I saying? They actually do. So let me just give you a real brief about the car real quick, and we'll judge based upon that. So this thing starts at about a price of 72,200 grand, and it has about 420 horsepower, 385 pound-feet of torque, and it all comes from a 5.0 liter V8. And once again, it's a rear wheel drive. So let's just go ahead and continue watching. Like that front grille. Rims look pretty decent. Alright, so the back of the car almost looked like a Lincoln for a second there. Seems to have a decent amount of cargo space. Alright, okay. A decent amount of knee room as well. And of course they got their TVs in the back. And okay, they can go ahead and move the front seat, which will give you enough space in the back on the executive seat right there that I like to call. Okay. Alright, that's what I like to call privacy mode, in which the shades all come up and you have your own privacy. Nobody's going to be looking in to seeing what you're doing. Okay. Alright, let me go ahead and skip over the part in which he'll be sitting in the front and actually driving it. Alright, let's move. Right over there. That steering wheel is a little too big. Hold on a second. So two things. So firstly, when I first saw the Genesis, like the Genesis G90 right there, like actually in person, like out on the streets, it was, I don't know, for some reason it just looked like a Chrysler to me for a second until I actually paid attention to the logo and I was like, no, that's not a Chrysler, that's a Genesis. And then number two, as I mentioned earlier, right when you see the tail lights on this specific model, I thought it was a Lincoln for a second, but once again, until you see that logo. And on the interior, one last thing I have to say about that is that, so you see that clock right there? I don't know, for some odd reason, it just makes me feel like that's kind of a Rolls Royce at the same time. I know I'm telling you that this car feels like every other car, but come on. Believe it or not, every single car that comes out these days always has some sort of always kind of looks like another car that's already been released or already is about to be released, if that makes sense. All right, let's get back into it. Okay. That gear is a little, that gear looks too small, but okay, we'll take it. Wait for him to rev that engine so that I can hear it. I like that. I really feel like these new vehicles that are coming out these days really should adopt that feature of like every time you turn on your turn signal in which you're about to switch lanes or you're about to turn or anything, like there should always have a camera right in the middle of the gauge cluster that you turn on and show you that, hey, is there somebody in your blind spot or is there nobody in there? So the Genesis actually has that, as you saw right there, and I don't like that feature. I really like that. I think more and more cars should kind of adopt to it and make it standard in every last one of their models. But all right, let's get back. So you trying to shift the pedals or? Let me get him to the highway. Handling seems good.
I'm a quadriplegic. I would rely totally on caregivers to get me out of bed.
Feel bad for that veteran. Alright, hopefully he speeds up. Even though he hasn't pushed it to the limit yet, but it sounds pretty decent. I'm really getting a feeling that that V8 kicks in pretty dang fast, even though the torque is not as much as the horsepower. Okay, adaptive cruise control. For some reason, I really thought that that wasn't cruise control. That was actually self-driving, but his hands are still on the wheel. Alright, okay. Oh, hold on, I think I missed it. Let's find out. Now this is going to be exciting. Man, that was okay. That was pretty good. 0 to 60 was pretty dang quick for somebody that competes against the S class. Like I said before, decent. Man, I don't like that. Yeah, that thing went up to 6,000 RPM pretty dang easily. Okay. All right, so my overall thoughts on the the 2020 Genesis G90 5.0 V8 rear-wheel drive. So, I personally think it's a pretty good vehicle for somebody who I consider like a CEO. But personally, I don't think this kind of a car I would want to drive. I would want to be driven in it. Like I'd hire a chauffeur, even though this car is worth like 72 grand. But like, there's a lot of space in the back. So come on, man. Of course, I'd want to sit in the back in that executive seat where I can literally just push the front seat, push the front passenger seat all the way up front and stretch out my legs, and man, it'd be pretty amazing. But at the same time, the amount of power it has and the way the interior looks and the way everything is so self-explanatory and self-intuitive, it's pretty amazing, honestly. But would I buy it? No. But would I wanna like would I want to be driven in it? Yes, of course, but only for a certain amount of time. But I wouldn't keep this car for like, let's say around like maybe 2 or 3 years. So that'd probably be a no. But even if you brought its competitor, which is the Mercedes S-Class, I'd pretty much do the same thing. I would not buy it, but I would rent it out or lease it out for about 2 years maximum. But I personally, in terms of the Mercedes, I don't think I'd want to be driven in that car, even though it's pretty much as spacious and luxurious as this. But I don't know, for some reason, this car just gives me the vibe in which I want to be driven. But the Mercedes, I'd want to drive it. I don't really know why I'm saying that. Maybe it's because I personally have a relative who owns a Mercedes, and that's the reason why I've driven that car like multiple times, and I just love driving it, and I just don't want to be driven in that. Or maybe I don't know where I'm talking from, but that's my personal perspective. So overall, guys, let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about this vehicle, and do you think you would purchase it over a Mercedes S-Class, or would you buy this one instead? But overall, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video right over here. I appreciate y'all for what. Did I just say I appreciate? Oh man, I can't even talk right now. Alright, so I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you so much for your love and support. Like, I literally just started about 3 days ago, and this channel has kind of blown up a little, and I'm pretty impressed. I really appreciate y'all's love and support. I will continue to bring out all this content, and you got a lot more. I have a lot more coming out tomorrow or day after, so go ahead and stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on, because I'll be keeping this grind up very consistent as possible. You definitely do not want to miss what I'm bringing out. Okay, I will talk to all of y'all in the next video. Be positive and peace out.